Calla lilies confuse a lot of plant owners because almost everything that keeps other houseplants alive is the wrong move here. This is one of the few common houseplants that actually wants to stay consistently moist, and treating it like a typical drought-tolerant plant is what kills it fastest. Let's go through what it actually needs, starting with the biggest mismatch. Unlike most houseplants, calla lilies grow from a moisture-loving rhizome and wilt quickly if the soil dries out completely between waterings. Keep the soil consistently moist, though not waterlogged during the active growing season. A calla lily that droops dramatically right after a missed watering is telling you it needs a more consistent schedule, not less water overall. A calla lily that grows plenty of leaves but never flowers is usually not getting enough light. It needs bright, indirect light for several hours a day, and a spot too far from any window will produce lush foliage with no blooms at all. Moving it closer to a bright window is often the only change needed to trigger flowering. After blooming, calla lily leaves naturally yellow and die back as the plant enters dormancy, and panicking at this stage leads people to overwater or discard a perfectly healthy rhizome. Reduce watering significantly once this dieback begins, and let the plant rest for a couple of months. This is a normal seasonal cycle, not a sign of failure. Even though calla lilies want consistent moisture, they still need soil that drains well enough to avoid standing water, which rots the rhizome. A rich potting mix with good drainage holes in the pot strikes the right balance, moist but not swampy. But the next mistake is one people make trying to be helpful. Heavy fertilizing pushes calla lilies to grow lots of leafy foliage at the expense of flowers, the opposite of what most people want. A balanced fertilizer diluted and applied every 4 to 6 weeks during active growth is enough. Cutting back on feeding is often what finally gets a leafy, bloomless plant to flower. During dormancy, a calla lily rhizome can be lifted from the soil and divided into sections, as long as each piece has at least one visible growth point. Let the cut surfaces dry for a day before replanting each piece in fresh soil. Within one growing season, each division grows into its own full plant. So calla lilies aren't difficult, they just play by a different set of rules than most houseplants: consistent moisture instead of drying out, and a dormant season instead of year-round growth. Respect that rhythm and this plant will bloom reliably year after year. If you want the complete guide with a troubleshooting chart for common calla lily problems, it is linked in the description below.